Refusing a role isn't something that's usually frowned upon, but it also is kind of making fans furious if you think about it whenever they're a fan favorite. These actors actually ended up refusing roles in Game of Thrones, and we're going to go over why. Welcome back, guys. Make sure before the video loads up to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. When you do these three things, you have a chance at being shouted out in a future video, so good luck to the contestants. These actors refused roles in Game of Thrones, and it left a lot of people wondering why. Maybe the money wasn't good enough, or maybe the acting job wasn't even the best. Who knows, but we're going to be getting into them right now. First up on our list, we have Tamzin Merchant, who originally cast as Khaleesi, Daenerys Targaryen, for the show's original unaired pilot and walked away from the reshoot for unknown reasons, leaving the part open to recasting. The first version of the pilot was, according to showrunners Dan Weiss and David Benioff, a massive problem, and 90% had to be redone. It was so bad, in fact, that HBO reportedly almost scrapped the series together, so perhaps has something to do with Merchant's decision to abstain from returning. Whatever the reason was, the known world now recognizes Emilia Clarke as their queen of the show. But we did a little Photoshop work in the lab, actually, to show you guys what she'd look like in future episodes. It's pretty funny, so go check that out on a future video we're going to be doing. But Tamzin, honestly, would have looked really good if she kept the role. And it sucks that she didn't go ahead and do it, because she actually would have played the part and looked better, in my opinion, in this type of role. Still though, these actors, actresses, whatever the case may be, they refuse roles just because they don't want to, get the money they're offered. They usually are expecting a little bit more, but with how popular and thriving Game of Thrones is, and everyone watches it, it seems like it's really odd to, deny a role like that. I don't know why someone would, but it doesn't make too much sense in my opinion. Still though, she did the right thing, giving it off to another little-known actor at the time, and this actress definitely made a splash as people recognize her as the queen of the show now. Next we have Jennifer Ehle. Merchant wasn't the only original Game of Thrones star to walk away after its early problems. The show, when it first started, wasn't getting a lot of viewership. In fact, it actually was down 45% than its original casting when it actually first originally aired. So a lot of these actresses / actors didn't want to film in it because they knew their use would be better in bigger TV shows. However, a lot of the actresses and actors like Jennifer Ehle decided to stay along and tough it out. She was brought on the original Catelyn Stark for the original series premiere, but she actually also walked away, so she didn't seem too committed after the first take spelled trouble due to the unavailability of reshoots. She then went on to star in such films such as The King's Speech, the very popular Adjustment Bureau, and also very popular Zero Dark 30. And she also nabbed a part in the television series A Gifted Man. So her career really hasn't been hurt by her decision to skip out on the role. Ultimately, that went to Michelle Fairley. Still though, you gotta give her credit. It sucks she had to leave and walk away from it, but in reality, I think she made the right decision. She filmed and starred on a lot of various films like King's Speech and Adjusted Bureau, but still made her money's worth there. But imagine if she only had to work for that amount of money on the Game of Thrones, because she easily would have been a multimillionaire from the show and then had the money to go ahead and do more and more feature films. It sucks to say, but I think Jennifer skipped out on a big opportunity, because stuff like this doesn't always come along in life. Although she is a prejudiced and proclaimed actress at the time right now, she can get any role she wants, but it definitely probably hurts her at least, or she'd tell you it stings a little bit knowing she passed up this great role. Next up we have another familiar face, Jamie Campbell Bower. Actor Jamie Campbell Bower, on the other hand, has had much less luck in Hollywood since walking away from his Game of Thrones post, but still ended up actually being in Twilight and Harry Potter, and was originally cast for the role of Night's Watchman Waymar Royce, but became unavailable once reshoots were scheduled. Around the same time, the actor was starring in the small screen series Camelot and readying for the lead role in Mortal Instruments, so he was characterized and replaced by Rob Ostellari. It might not have made such a difference on his career since the character had just a single episode appearance, but who knows what might have been. He may have been filmed in future episodes. He may have even been filmed in a George R.R. Martin future TV series. Who knows? Those connections can go a long way. So for someone to pass it up and not really think too much about it is very shameful. As well as being shameful and shamed for leaving the role, he also passed up several millions of dollars. Even though it's a singular episode, a lot of these characters and the main ones, and even though they're not really the main ones, some of the side ones as well, are rumored to be making per episode at the height of its popularity last year in 2018, around 1.2 million per episode. That's insane. If you really think about it, that's like a couple days worth of acting in an episode, and you're able to go ahead and get that done right away. So for a week's worth of work, you're getting paid $1.2 million. I don't know why Jamie Bauer ended up passing that up. It must have been personal reasons, because that's too good of a deal to let go. Lastly, we have Lily Allen. According to Lily Allen, she turned down the chance to star in Game of Thrones opposite of her real-life brother Alfie Allen. She would have been Yaya Greyjoy to his Theon Reek because of the ick factor associated with the roles. She wrote in a Reddit AMA in 2014, "I've been asked to do a Game of Thrones cameo. They asked me if I'd be interested in playing Theon's sister, and I felt comfortable because I would have to go on a horse, and he would have touched me, and also a lot of other stuff. She wasn't very comfortable with it because it was her own brother, which makes a lot of sense." She says, "Once they told me to what I was entailed, I said no thanks. I would be open to doing a musical cameo like Sigur Rós, though." Her brother himself later came forward to dispel her claim, telling Vulture that her words weren't true and that Gemma Whelan was always the original choice for the role. However, author Martin is reportedly a fan of Lily Allen's, so it's a total case of a he said, she said kind of thing. Still though, we don't know who to believe, but we're going to believe Lily Allen just for the sake of your guys' entertainment, because it makes sense that, they would go ahead and try and get her on the show because George R. Martin is a really, really big fan of hers, but it also doesn't make sense, in my opinion, because they're both brother and sister. I don't think a logical person, even though it was for millions upon millions of dollars of box office views, would go ahead and tell their own brother to touch their sister inappropriately. I think that's just wrong, and if that's how Martin thought, then that's really weird. These actors/actresses didn't want to star in the popular network series Game of Thrones, and it definitely hurt them, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to smack a huge thumbs up on it. Guys, I'm signing off, and as always, see y'all later.